try to correct the mistake. When she actually won, she called Taylor Swift. She said, like, look, when I was 17 and I won this award with Destiny's Child, it was the greatest night of my life, and I don't want to rob this girl of this. Please come up here and let's do this again the right way.
Not only was it classy, it was truly a Beyonce moment because she had to mention that she won the award 3 years before.
That's true. No. I don't think I didn't
I was 17 and won this.
And she smiled at the camera. I won this award 17 when I was 17.
And the worst thing about this is that, for young little blonde Taylor Swift that had this happen from this black man, later, Korey, like 5 years from now, when you approach her, that's the first thing she's going to think of. She's going to blow you up.
You know what? Taylor Swift, if she had looked at Kanye West and said, nigga, please, I think everybody would not have faulted her for that. It would have been like, we were thinking the same thing, sweetheart. Yeah, but what did he do before? Now, one time, everybody kind of applauded him when Katrina came through, and everybody was like,
he said George Bush don't like
Cheney. Yeah, they're like, he had the only guy who had the balls to say it.
Yeah, he came out, but even then he was kind of nervous. It's like, I guess he bucked up since then, because back then he was shaking. And he was like, because they cut to him, like, and he rambled for a long time, and finally he just summed it down to one thing: George Bush hates black people.
Well, he seemed like he was like emotionally shaken.
Doesn't like black people. There's a distinction.
Yeah. George Bush don't like black people. Because there was a song that got weaved that into Gold Digger. I don't know if he put it together or somebody else put the two together, but they timed it perfectly. But just what was funny about that moment was Mike Myers' reaction. He said his part and waiting for Kanye to say his part of his speech. And when Kanye said, George Bush don't like black people, and Mike Myers looked over at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah, people, you should look this up. If you don't know about this, what was it? It was a charity going on for
the Katrina victims. It was a thrown together little thing where it was it was just after it happened. It's a whole mess of celebrities and musicians that performed, and it was on all the channels. You could not get away from this. You couldn't go to the bathroom without somebody trying to hit you up for money for Katrina.
Oh yeah.
And they put together like people you'd never see together. And here comes comedian Mike Myers and favored Negro musician Kanye West. And it's like, hey, and George Bush don't like black people. And
so they put Mike Myers and Kanye West together, and this is one of those moments where it's live and it's candid, and Kanye West just seized the moment and said what was ever on his mind and just threw everybody out. Because not only did Mike Myers look crazy, that's the first time we've seen Mike Myers speechless. Because Mike Myers is smug. He's a smug little bitch sometimes.
Right. But he was looking all like, I'm kind of like emotionally wrecked by this, but I need to say it and be solemn about it. And we wish everyone the best here. And turn over to Kanye for the canned banter of the teleprompter.
and Mike Myers, when he said it, Mike Myers had a look on his face like, oh. I mean, it was like Katrina was about to hit again.
Kanye throws his cards down and goes, I am Iron Man. Yeah.
What you really kind of want him to do is to look at Mike Myers and go, it's on the teleprompter.
Yeah. Mike Myers was thrown off. And what was even funny that they went to another location and they cut to Chris Tucker. And even Chris Tucker was like, oh, his eyes were wide. And he didn't know what the fuck.
And that's saying something for Chris Tucker.
For Chris Tucker not to do it. He was not even like a man. He was like, oh.
But see, you know what that was? That was a traditional white move there. It's like when you're on the bus and there are two black guys on the bus and one is acting up, you immediately look at the other one to see how he's reacting. Because apparently you guys are friends.
Yeah. I'm going to pretend I did not hear the words that were just coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, he threw everybody off. It was shit, like somebody threw a bomb in that building or something. But
that's what Kanye does. He's going to be better known 20 years from now. People are going to look back. They're not going to think about his songs. They're going to think about his huge, embarrassing shit he does.
If he doesn't stop, they will. Because right now he's got a good library of music that people love, and if
does he really?
Yeah, he does. I mean, Gold Digger itself is going to be known, but yeah, he's come out with some other songs, man, that people gonna know, and it's like but at this point now, like, people gave him that. Now, what are the other two besides Taylor Swift that he did?
Well, there was like I know that he did it at the European Music Video Awards, and then something
he didn't
else.
come out on stage. That's what it was.
Yeah,
like he didn't start till like 4 a.m. because he wanted everything to be exactly right, and people who were attending were pissed. And like at that moment, it almost seemed like he lost all his supporters. He came out, he apologized, and apparently he fucked up again. What was the next
thing? That nigga loves to apologize. He gets on Twitter and apologizes, and like, dude, I'm not subscribed to your Twitter, so you're still an asshole to me.
Yeah. No, I've read these stories a couple of times where he's just come out and he stormed the stage at like the European Music Video Awards, one of these things, and started screaming about how he had been robbed because his video was clearly better than the one that won. And yeah, he does this kind of shit, and when And especially when you do it like that on a big production to a girl like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like, had he done it to, had he done it to a guy, any guy, had it been Justin Timberlake up there,
to the Insane Clown Posse.
yeah, or but
or Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, or
I don't know.
or
Justin
anything
Timberlake
like
is
that.
almost like doing it to his Taylor Swift, though. I mean,
no, because there's a
he's
difference
practically a little
between
blonde girl himself.
Yeah, he's kind of a wuss. I mean, I love Taylor.
When you step on another dude's dick, that's one thing. But when you go and fucking trump a 20-year-old girl, I mean,
and I like Taylor.
The girl's
Swift,
barely hit puberty, for fuck's sake.
I know, man.
I mean,
we saw the
leave
Jonas
her
Brothers
alone.
movies.
She was like the best part
She was
of
the
it.
best part of that movie, man. Like that, this girl got talent. I thought she was older than 20.
Do you have a Taylor Swift album?
Yes, I do.
No, you
No, I
don't.
don't.
Okay,
Of course
now,
I
hold
don't.
on,
What the fuck you
hold on.
think?
I
I
love
don't.
Taylor Swift. Shut up, you do not.
I got
But
some-
you just hate the Jonas Brothers more. That's
Hey,
all.
you know what?
She's a good
I will.
kid.
I've got a handful of Taylor Swift songs on my MP3 player. She makes really good
That
pop
doesn't
stuff.
surprise me. You have no taste in music at all. But,
This is true, but at least I'm man enough to fucking admit it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Kanye West he's barely 5 feet tall. All you gotta do is get a big rat trap and put a fake award that's made out of chocolate on it, and take him out.
Days of the cake.
I can't wait to see that. The Kanye West Music Awards. He's like, finally goes up on stage and doesn't notice the giant fucking rat trap. I'm about to spring and pop his head off.
Yeah. Shit, I bet he had to put a trap door to that motherfucker when he comes out. Yeah.
It's time for you to perform, Mr. West.
Shit, they know. Kanye West is gonna come out right on this spot, right here. They got
Like
a trap
Bugs
door
Bunny
way
is
out
out there
there.
dressed up as a presenter.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny gag. We just like calls a delivery guy who rides up on a moped and hands him a box with a fuse sticking out of it.
we should totally make the
That's
Spill
Kanye.
Music Video Awards and nominate him for something.
Yeah, we bring his ass out.
Nominate him for everything.
You know what? We bring him out here and let the co-host actually win the award, so he can like snatch the microphone and talk.
we
shit.
nominate him for two things and then give him an award for one of them and watch him scream about not getting it for the other. Because that's who the fuck this
He's like,
motherfucker is.
And what the hell is this fuse doing on the end of this microphone? I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what? He strikes me as a guy who really needs the acceptance of his father.
Well, you know what?
Really
Look,
needs the acceptance of a primary physician to sign the form that says yes, Prozac.
I mean, his mother did tragically die like what 2 years ago.
give a fuck.
Maybe
2 years ago, he was.
Maybe he had a mental breakdown. He hasn't gotten
I understand.
the help he
Hey,
needs.
look, I'm sorry, whatever, but leave people the fuck alone. You know, a lot of people have parents die. Well, I'm one of them, and I'll come out and it's like, hey, I'm gonna be nice to people.
When
I'm
you
gonna fuck
go
with
on an
people.
award show and you make Beyonce look classy, something's
Hey,
gone
man,
terribly wrong.
don't throw shrapnel at Beyonce. She
didn't do shit.
She was
did a good
she was a
thing.
total sweetheart last night.
Yeah.
The VMAs celebrating mediocrity and what music we
See,
want to promote
that's the
to
thing.
you.
It's like,
for
okay,
how many years
Kanye
now?
West goes nuts at these. I'm not only surprised that he still goes nuts. I'm surprised nobody has come to him and went, dude, these awards don't mean shit.
Who gives a shit?
Oh, they probably do, but that's just it. He wants that acceptance.
It's one of the only
But
music-
he's actually
really-
said
he
that he
thinks
believes
they're
he's the
legitimate.
Beatles of this
He's the
generation.
Beatles.
That he believes that he's the single greatest artist right now. He had this great thing where he went off and he's like, look, JT could be, but JT isn't as prolific as I am. I'm putting out a new album every year, but JT is taking a few years
What about
between
MJ?
each album.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
You know,
see,
I was gonna
like
say.
last time I remember a guy doing that, his name was Terrence Trent D'Arby. And we haven't
Look
heard
what
from him since
happened
then.
to him.
Hey,
Yeah.
I
that
don't know what
motherfucker had a
happened.
wishing well.
No, kids,
And
you
he
don't
kissed
remember.
and tell.
Like,
Yeah, I
really,
think that's where they
kids
buried
don't
him.
remember this guy because this guy. There was a guy.
And he was actually genuinely
Yeah.
talented.
Yeah,
but he like pumped himself up. Like, his part of his shtick was, I'm gonna be the asshole of rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, dude, but
No,
it totally backfired.
There's a lesson.
wishing well.
Yeah, you mean that song? Yeah, no.
Oh, wishing
Well,
well.
that whole album was great.
No,
Oh,
the thing is, the next 3 albums he put out were even
Crocodile.
they
Well, let
were
me tell
all
these
way
kids
better than
because
that.
we're talking a bunch of kids
Okay.
who don't know who the
Yeah,
fuck we're
Terrence
talking
Trent
about.
D'Arby, what
Yeah,
the
who the fuck
fuck?
is that? Terrence Howard?
Wishing well.
Well, of course, to be fair, a lot of like the Beatles. Who the fuck is that?
No, everybody knows the Beatles. The Beatles have.
Hey,
Yes,
they have
sir.
rock band
That's true.
motherfuckers.
Rock
So the
band.
Beatles
Everyone
have,
knows who
they're
they
the
are.
one band who are known to to bridge the generation gap between older generations and younger generations because everybody knows who the
And
fuck.
some-
Because you
Somewhere
can't get away from their music
now.
on fucking
But there was-
advertisements.
I remember a time when they'd be like, hey, did you know Paul McCartney was in a band before Wings? And then somebody was like, Wings? What's that?
Oh no! Everybody knows who the Beatles are, man. But there was a cautionary tale. There was a guy named Terrence Trent D'Arby back in the '80s, and this guy was the cockiest motherfucker, man. I actually saw him in an interview on a music video show, and he came out, wouldn't answer questions, wouldn't smile, gave attitude, and they actually considered this guy to be probably the next Michael Jackson,
Right.
And not exactly the same music, but He was a genius.
He was like kind of a Michael Jackson / Prince
guy. Yeah,
everyone was
Lenny Kravitz. He was right. And
he was a mold of all those guys.
And everybody was confusing him with Rick Astley because they sounded exactly the same. Remember back when everybody thought Rick Astley was black?
Anything.
It sounded nothing alike.
I can't say that. I have to say he sounded probably more like
he had a genuine soul sound.
Yeah,
it was like a mix of Sam Cooke and a lot of those classic guys.
It wasn't like there was not much electronic in it. It was more like sort of like folk influences and rock influences.
Well, it was all that, man.
I saw him when he performed at the Austin Music Hall. It was one of the best shows I ever saw.
And a lot of people even said he was like a young Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
And that's what his voice, that's how much soul he had. But this dude was convinced that he was like the next coming of Jesus, and you didn't hear about that motherfucker the next year.
What? I read an interview with him later, like years after the fact, and he was like, yeah, I totally fucked up by doing that. It was like a whole thing he put on, like, oh, this will garner me some press by being cocky and being an asshole. And it's like, he's like, yeah, it totally worked against me. Yeah. I regret I ever did that.
Even that video show, like, there was a video show that guy came back on. It was a show that came a long time ago on BET, back when BET had some class, and it was a show called Video Soul. And the host was Donnie Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
And Donnie Simpson came on.
Yeah, Donnie Simpson was cool. I like Donnie Simpson.
Yeah, Donnie Simpson came on. He's like, you know what? We never do this. We've had some bad guests. We haven't wanted people back, but that fucking asshole Terrence Trent D'Arby.
And Donnie Simpson was like the nicest guy in the world.
He's like, that is a guy that we will never have back here ever again.
Damn.
And his co-host, was a woman, was like, yeah, he was pretty bad. And so this attitude, Kanye West. If you listen to us right now, which I know you are.
I know he's always on the internet.
Of course, because he's on every fucking website. He's tweeting all the time. You're going to issue another apology and say, I'm sorry I did this. I was just out of my mind or something.
I was drunk.
The fame was
he already did. He already
tweeted,
I apologize, I was drunk.
You were talented enough right now. People still see you as somewhat favorably because you're still close enough to your music that you had these hits right behind you. Fucking mean it this time and shut the fuck up. Please.
MC Hammer, after he lost everything, he came back with that song, The Pumps and the Bumps, where he had to like dress in a thong and sing in a hot tub.
Man, he didn't dress in a thong.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
That's a bad fucking song, too.
No, that song is actually all right. He had such a bad reputation at the time that people were like, we don't want to hear from this motherfucker.
And this is why I don't listen to the radio or watch MTV, because it sucks.
MC Hammer,
don't you talk back about MC Hammer, motherfucker.
No.
Like that Borat thong?
No. You remember Charlie Wilson from the Gap Band? How he used to like when they sang Party Train, it was a Gap Band, all served wearing thongs.
That train.
Yeah.
Come to get that party train.
He was doing the Charlie Wilson without the hat.
Oh shit! Okay,
it was bad.
It was like a little speedo. He's wearing a little speedo in a hot tub.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
See, the song was all right. That's what fucked him up. That speedo. Don't ever put on a speedo unless you fucking Borat.
I did like that commercial he did though for the insurance company or something, where he's all like doing his thing in front of his mansion, and then it's like 5 years later, and
it was 15 minutes later.
And he's sitting on the edge of the curb. You're like, yep.
I like how Patrick Swayze, he's over like a ghost in the corner, like the Jedi.
Hey, could you guys talk back to?
He's like you
like the movie Ghost.
I'm dead. Yeah, like in Ghost. Yeah. He's like, hey man, he's wearing that same shirt he had in Ghost.
You went really deep there, didn't you?
He's got that mullet right there and shit. But he's just
as soon
like,
as we leave, Corey's gonna be pulling out his big mound of clay.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be sitting behind me. And no, that's the fucking that's the wrong song.
Ask me how I knew.
My life.
Unchained Melody.
That's
the Righteous Brothers.
But no, man, I like he's like I die with dignity. You motherfuckers that talk about this goddamn Kanye West who ain't done shit but run his mouth.
That's so funny about Patrick. He's like, hey man, respect
we
guys.
We gave him respect,
Kanye, well shit. I'm gonna whip out my neck and piss on that.
Hey Patrick, hey man, here's to you, man. We looked at you across. Here you go, man. Hey, good for you.
Drink a blonde bombshell.
George Lucas will Photoshop him in here at the end of it.
No, you know Patrick Swayze right now. If he's a ghost, he's in Demi Moore's house going, "Come on, I smell sequel."
All right.
Somewhere Whoopi Goldberg is extremely excited. What? Was that my agent? Holy shit.
Damn, we gotta get out of here before it gets worse.